Hi, Cancer. Welcome. So, Cancer, this is going to be your reading. My readings are timeless, so I just trust that whenever you find this, that's when it's for you. And let's get into it. So, there are your cards. Before I get into that, I was feeling here as I was preparing for your reading that there's definitely progress here. Also, there may be movement, travel, vehicles, all of that being highlighted, as well as the home. Okay. And lots of fast moving energy, lots of communicative energy. So all that to say, like, I feel like you have a lot going on. You may be a busy body, okay, during this time. But let's get into the cards and see what else we have here. You have the card of Temperance and the King of Cups. So Temperance is all about balancing the emotions, right? Transmuting emotions. In this deck, it's also about peace and coming to peace. The King of Cups is all about emotional well-being. It is also the card of commitment. So some sort of commitment or relationship being highlighted. The Six of Cups is a supportive energy, but to me, the Six of Cups is always talking about the past. Whether it's the recent past, childhood memories, nostalgia, or a past person possibly. And then you have the card of Judgment, which is simply about making good decisions. But it actually, in this deck, it is the angel of the past. So that's out twice. The past may be returning, Cancer, or something very familiar, or a pattern reemerging possibly. So let's see what we need to know about that then for my Cancerians. What else? The Lovers. Going with the flow. The card of mental exhaustion. And the inner voice. So definitely love and relationships being highlighted for this reading, especially with the Lovers card here. And it's falling under Temperance, which is all about making peace or finding peace in a situation. It's also Sagittarius and Gemini energy. You could be connecting with either of those signs as well. The King of Cups, which I feel this is your energy, is also the card of going with the flow. So when it comes to commitments, when it comes to what you're emotionally invested into, it's more so about going with the flow than forcing action, right? There's some sort of mental exhaustion going on. And I feel like this is in regards to that past energy. And I can't tell from just these two cards where that's headed, but we'll look into that. And then there's a need to trust your inner voice, especially when making decisions about the past or regarding somebody from the past. Or this could also represent needing to listen to your inner voice and the wisdom that you have from past decisions you've made and outcomes, right? So let's dig in for the details then for my Cancerians. What else do they need to know? What is the Lovers about? You have the Five of Pentacles, the Two of Swords. So the Five of Pentacles is interesting. This card says, life is hard right now. Look around. Help is at hand. Okay. And that's falling under relationships. This says, take your time to think before you act. Okay, I'm just going to tell, what the, okay, hold on a second. Let's get all the cards out. You have the Sun here, which is about happiness, positivity, strength. And then the Seven of Swords, which is my card of deception and dishonesty. What is that about? Okay, I don't usually get stumped by my own cards, but hold on a second. If you're dealing with a Gemini in particular, and especially if you went through a heartbreak or a break up with a Gemini, definitely go watch the Gemini reading. Remember, the roles can be reversed when you watch that reading, since it's not your own sign. Because this is so much reminding me of that. But even if you're not, that's okay. I just feel that when it comes to this need to make peace with something, there could have been a situation, or there may be a situation at hand where there's some sort of hardship that's showing up, and like this very restless energy here. And yet there's like this desire to stay positive, to keep your head on straight. And yet something feels off. Okay, so everything is not quite what it seems when it comes to this situation. And yet there's this card of like taking action, you know, feeling inspiration to do something about this or do something about it. And I actually feel hesitant about that. What is the Ace of Wands? Oh, the Ace of Cups. Okay, so the Ace of Cups is about love, relationships, self-love as well. And I have never been stumped in a reading. It's going to come to me, don't worry, but I want to make sure I get it right, because this is complicated. So let me get more cards out. What is the King of Cups and going with the flow? Some of you have faced some sort of hardship that may or may not even be about relationships. And it's like, you know, finding peace with it, or finding happiness with where you're at, regardless of whatever hardship you've been through. And yet at the same time, because of what you went through, like having trust issues, you know, or, you know, feeling like you can't trust, especially when it comes to like people or love or being in love, you know, or like sometimes not even trusting your own emotions. Okay. But we're going to get way more on that. Going with the flow, got the Two of Wands here. The Devil. What the hell? Oh my gosh, the Eight of Swords and the Tower. Oh, that card just shot all the way. The Page of Wands. Okay, sorry, this just got even more complicated, so you're gonna have to hold for a second. The encouragement here is to go with the flow, believe in your own personal power, to remember that you're only limited by what you believe is possible. Okay. But it seems like you're blocked to me, energetically speaking. You know, sometimes the Eight of Swords can be doubt, fear, a sense of disempowerment. And then you have the freaking Tower, which is like, you know, anything that is not built on a firm foundation must fall, right? It's a collapse of a situation. Sometimes this is like my reality check card. And yet they want you to keep your eye on the goal, to stay excited, to be a free spirit anyways. So, oh goodness. And this is falling under, again, the card of commitment. So I'm going to read this as if I'm reading for a relationship, and then I'm going to read it in general. If there's been a specific relationship in your life where you went through some sort of hardship, right? And maybe it's created trust issues, whether that's trust in another person or like trust that the universe really has your back. I feel like you're still trying to stay positive though. But the thing is, not everything is what it seems either, because you have the card here of deceit and concealment, like something's being concealed or was being concealed. And this has to deal with a specific person. And I feel like this is a love relationship, but it really could be any relationship. But you know, sometimes love makes us blind, right? We see what we want to see. We put our rose-colored glasses on. We love the person anyways. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there's a sense of being blindsided, okay, by something. With the Tower here especially. You know, the devil is toxic energy to me. So you have been maybe making decisions or plans in a situation where something is not right. You know, there's this toxic element to it. And there's a Tower coming because, again, anything that is not built with source on board, meaning an honesty and clarity that is a vibrational match to your goodness, must fall out of your life, must come to a close. So I hope this is making sense for those of you where this is regarding a relationship. Now, for others of you, like just in general, you may I don't even want to go in general. I'm not going to go in general because I feel like there's a specific storyline here and I'm going to get to the bottom of it. So well, let me say it anyway. In general, I think some of you may just simply, because of the hardships you went through, you know, it turned you into a very analytical person. You know, and that's maybe serving you in some way, okay? But there may be like toxic behaviors of your own that really do need to change, or patterns that you have developed in the past that no longer serve you, that are going to change or need to, and it's going to set you on the straight and narrow. Or you could be dealing with somebody who has like toxic patterns and something's got to change. I'm going to get real specific here in a second because this is a very specific, I'm trying to keep it general, but it's not really working. So just bear with me. I'm going to get all the cards out actually. 9 of Cups, 2 of Cups, Three of Wands, Queen of Swords, Ace of Swords, 7 of Cups, 4 of Pentacles, Queen of Cups. Ten of Swords in the reverse. Just give me a second here. So there's a reminder here for you, Cancer, under the 6 of Cups and the card of exhaustion, that everything is working out for you. So not to let your emotions get in the way or to overconsume yourself to the point of exhaustion when it comes to your mind and how you're feeling. There's also this encouragement to find your inspiration, to take some sort of action forward and to clearly communicate what you need to communicate. But this is also about recovery, regeneration. It's kind of like a rebirth. Like, this is an intense reading. And that's why it feels a little all over the place, because I feel like I said in the beginning of the reading, there's a lot going on here. There's also this need to listen to your inner voice, especially when making decisions. But there's two cards that are reminders to speak your mind. And there's an encouragement to step back from everything, to gain perspective before you take action. Okay, because holding on too tight can actually stop you from moving forward or not weighing things out completely. And then be open to receiving the healing and nurturing you need. So, I'm going to break this into a specific, what I feel is happening here. There may be a situation in a relationship dynamic where there was just straight up dishonesty, some sort of hardship that was going on. Somebody maybe either pretending to be happy or trying to be happy even though they're not telling the truth about something, or maybe you're not telling the truth about something. There's something being concealed here. So, like when somebody is lying or concealing something, but they don't want their partner to know or their mother to know or whatever, they put on a happy face because they just don't want to be bothered or questioned with it. That's kind of what I'm feeling has happened or is happening, whether that's you or somebody you're dealing with. And yet there's passion and there's love here showing up. I don't know if the passion and love is what's being concealed or somebody's being dishonest about. Or it's like the love is real, but not everything is what it seems type deal. But it feels like to me, when it comes to like emotionally where you're at, the encouragement is to go with the flow. But I feel this bondage type of energy, this toxic tie or toxic pattern, if you will, that kind of keeps you feeling stuck when you're not really stuck. And when that happens, the tower comes in, the universe comes in, something outside of you changes, which forces the situation to change. And I feel like that's what's occurred or will be occurring, one of the two. And yet it's a good thing because it kind of gives you a fresh perspective and a new beginning to launch off of. There's this need to let go of the emotional exhaustion because everything is working out for you. Just remind yourself of that. Don't let your emotions get the best of you. This is about looking to your future, not to your past, and being very clear on your communication and speaking your mind. And listening to your intuition too when it comes to making decisions for yourself. Again, there's this elusive energy here. So there's a need to take a step back to gain perspective, right? Because sometimes when we're in the thick of things or in the mix of our own emotions, it clouds our perspective of like the big picture. And there's a need to kind of look at the big picture here. And any desire that you may have to hold on to control or attempt to control a situation, you're being encouraged to let go of that and to focus more so on how you feel and being open to receiving and keeping with that good-natured, compassionate version of yourself, Cancer. So I know I said I'm going to give you two different situations, but I'm actually just going to leave it there because that's the story. That's what I'm getting. That's what the cards are talking about. If it makes sense to you, it's your reading. If it doesn't, then this one ain't for you. Come back for the next one. So that's what I feel it is. I do want one on the Queen of Cups. And there's also this need to find more balance in your life. It's specifically work-life balance for some of you, but it's just a need to also put time and energy and work into working on yourself and what you're good at. And, the focus can't always be on another person or other people. Like the most important relationship you need to tend to and that spirit wants you to tend to first and foremost is the relationship you have with yourself, being your best cheerleader, you know, striving for whatever it is that you want for yourself, and working on that relationship of feeling good about yourself as well. So, wow, I don't even know where to go with this. This is a lot. How this makes sense to you? Let me see what the guidance cards have to say. Actually, let's be nosy. What is the concealment or the dishonesty about? The Eight of Cups. Could be Pisces energy. But also this card is about making decisions and moving away from the past. So again, there's that past energy. It could be something from the past that's being concealed, or someone from the past that this is about. Again, the card is about finding balance. And maybe it's best to leave the past in the past. Let's see what the guidance cards have to say. Oh, I'll keep that one. I don't care for that one. It says ancestral wisdom. We are your ancestors. You are being guided by your ancestors, and you are to learn and grow from your past experiences. But let's get one more. This says, I can get from an unwanted to a wanted relationship. As you walk away from one unpleasant situation, the law of attraction will bring you another that feels much like it, and usually quickly. You just cannot get there from there. To get where you want to be, to the place of feeling better, you have to reach for alignment between you and a you. Getting yourself feeling good before you take action is always the best process. For when you do not feel good, you cannot be inspired to take an action that will solve any of your problems. Interesting reading. Okay. I'm going to leave it there. Zodiac signs that you may be connecting with. I want to notably say Pisces and Gemini are sticking out to me, but I also have Sagittarius here. And Capricorn, Scorpio. I have a ton of signs. This could be in your chart, the chart of the person you're dealing with. Let's see, Gemini again, Aries, Pisces again, Scorpio again, Gemini again, Capricorn again, Aries, Aquarius, Leo, and Taurus. Those are the primary signs I'm seeing, but keep in mind it is a general reading. So take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it did resonate, let me know in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to give me a like, share, and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any future videos. And you can follow me on Facebook for more fun stuff. I go live there. I do tarot over there. I talk and chat over there. Tarot Time with Dana is the name of that page. So wishing you the best either way. And until next time, my friends, namaste. Bye.